Alrighty. Excuse me. I'm here. I'm going to upload a couple. I'm making a video for a friend of mine. I'm going to upload a couple of my favorite clips with Emet-Selch. Probably the best villain in all of Final Fantasy XIV. Maybe all of Final Fantasy, but I'll leave that one open for debate. So, let me I'm just gonna scroll through my long list of quests here, see if I can't pick out some of my favorites, and then yeah, whoever wants to watch them can. And of course, it will be starring my very, well, it'll be starring my dwarf, my Lalafell. So, let me see if I can find the right ones.
All seems well at the Crystarium.
Yes. Ylmor was plainly more concerned with finding us. How flattering.
You certainly took your time. I had half resolved to complete the task myself.
And you are...
Were one to study the annals of Garlean history, one would find yonder visage on many a page. Though by rights its youth should long since have faded.
Well, well, we have a historian in our midst. That spares me a lengthy explanation. I am Solus Sos Galvus, founding father of the Garlean Empire, and under various guises, the architect of myriad other imperially inclined nations. As for my true identity, I am Emet-Selch, Ascian.
Gaius spoke of you. A native of the Source.
Equal in rank to La Habrea. And you came all this way just to introduce yourself to us?
Behold the sky, restored to its former glory. Have you ever seen a more affecting spectacle? Oh, it is truly, deeply infuriating. Do you have any idea how much you have delayed the rejoining? Following the flood, the First had been listing ever further towards the light, towards stasis. The end was in sight. Enter man and his indomitable spirit. He would haul the world back from the brink. And adding his lumpen weight to the power of growth, he duly tipped the scales, if only by a fraction. Yet a fraction was enough to spoil the perfect imbalance needed to bring about a rejoining. Had mankind continued to live in idleness under Vorthri's rule, all the conditions would have been met. But you had to come and ruin it all. Thanks to your meddling, light supremacy is in doubt, and our painstakingly laid plans are in tatters!
Well, I should begin by thanking you for confirming Urianger's theories on the inner workings of the Calamity. He will be most pleased. As for what happens next, might I suggest you admit defeat and walk away?
Happy to let me go, are you? Because the murderous glint in your eye suggests otherwise. Indeed, it is enough to make me think better of confronting you alone. Look, it did cross my mind to simply side with Vorthri and kill you all. But that's no different from what La Habre did. And we all know how well that ended for him. And so, while it is liable to be troublesome, I have settled upon a different approach. Cooperation. I will not raise a hand to hinder your hunt for the Light Wardens. If you desire it, I will even lend you my knowledge and strength.
Since time immemorial, you and yours have labored to rejoin the 13 shards, at the cost of countless lives. Do you expect us to believe that your objective has suddenly changed?
Nay, our objective is the same as it ever was. Though I dare say, you do not know our motive. A war waged without knowledge of the enemy is no war. It is mere bloodletting. Just once, might we not seek to find common ground? For good or ill, I am immortal. Provided I have the inclination, I can always begin anew, scheme and conspire to my heart's content. But this time I thought that I might instead try to see eye to eye, to understand what drives the hero of the source, to determine if our goals are truly incompatible. So come, shed your preconceptions. See beyond the unscrupulous villains you take us for. When all is said and done, we may find ourselves pleasantly surprised. The proud discoverers of a path of cooperation rather than opposition. Think of it.
Thou hast delivered thy proposal, and we would not dismiss it outright. If I may offer thee counsel, however, to make thy case via an illusion reflecteth poorly upon thy sincerity.
My apologies. You will forgive me if I'm not entirely at ease in the presence of a famed Ascian slayer. I felt it only prudent to take precautions. Nonetheless, your counsel is duly noted.
I take my leave, friends. Rest assured, we shall meet again soon.
Alrighty, moving on to the next one. There's a few that I personally like. On it, like, obviously we have to go with the introductions. So, this is not the first time we actually see Emet-Selch in the main story. This is the first time he introduces himself to us. I think my next favorite one... I mean, that's a good one too, but let's... I think the next one is this one, I think?
No matter how far he goes, man cannot resist looking back on the path he has walked. The untold stories and secrets of the past can be more alluring than the promise of tomorrow. And so he braves the forests of Raktika in search of mystery and wonder. Of Ronka, to which all seekers of hidden truths are inevitably drawn.
We have arrived. Vast though these woods may be, they are, by and large, uninhabitable. Not so the swamps of Cydia, however, whose sparse foliage permitted man a foothold.
No lands must remain beyond our grasp. Go forth, conquer, rule!
Forgive me. A sudden pang of nostalgia for those halcyon days. Exploring virgin territories, subjugating primitive peoples,
All for the glory of Garlemald.
If you've brought your ivory standard, I'll be happy to tell you where to stick it.
can we not simply take a moment to enjoy the view together? Or would you rather I spied on you from the shadows? Much more of this, and I may very well begin to regret my show of good faith.
If you really want to stay, then help us fight.
No, I think not. I am an observer, nothing more. Even shielded by the shadows of these boughs, I feel the light's presence most keenly. To accompany you is taxing enough. To fight is out of the question.
I will suffer your company if I must, but not your commentary.
Alright. There's another one here in Rakatika that is also very good. It is also kind of where the shift, I guess you could say. Good faith. That one's actually pretty decent as well. I might do that one. Yeah, we'll do two from this one, and then the Burden of Knowledge comes next. There's a pretty good shift in the storyline at kind of the pivotal plot twist point. Actually, sorry, not that one. Never mind, we'll skip that one. That one takes a bit of a time to explain what actually happened. So we'll just skip past that point. We'll go straight to this one. This is level 75. It's like right smack dab halfway between or in the middle of the Shadowbringers story. So we'll go straight to there.
The Light Warden is dead. The Blessed's prayers have been answered.
Aye,
That they have. His condition yet troubleth thee?
It does. Though he shows no immediate signs of corruption, the danger remains. He must be told. Would you describe it to me, Urianger? Paint for me a picture with your words.
A sea of shimmering stars. Diamonds strewn across a raven gown. Boundless and beautiful. 'Tis an exquisite sight, not unlike that of the source. Calm and gentle and forgiving.
I can see it.
For however deep the void, or wide the expanse, there is no shore so distant as to be beyond the reach of light. Ominous though that may sound, given our present travails.
Well fought. Let us return home. The murals. If I am not mistaken, they predate the Empire.
How can you tell?
A peculiarity of the paint. Most are made from mineral-based pigments. But whatever was used here is older than anything I have ever seen. According to Emet, this sanctuary was built to preserve the wisdom of the ancients. What events do these murals commemorate, I wonder?
Must you always linger after defeating your enemies? Navigating these halls on foot is exhausting.
Come to lead us to safety, have you?
I was bored. But how is the hero of the hour? Fighting fit, I see. Keep up the good work.
You're plotting something.
Every hour of every day. But never you mind about that. As I have told you 1,000 times before, I like to watch. Nothing more. Well, I would quit this place and I suggest you do the same. There is yet work to be done. Ah, there is a sight to bring a tear to the eye.
You recognize these scenes?
That I do. Indeed, there was a time when anyone and everyone would. Until one calamitous day when the world was divided across 10 and 3 reflections, sundering the land and all who dwelled upon it. And the worst part? No one could remember it. Not really. Just fragments and fleeting memories of an achingly familiar world. A vision shared of a paradise lost, preserved only in song and scripture and paint. Once upon a time. Yet here we find ourselves again, to look, learn, and remember.
Then share with us the stories you know so well. We are listening.
Before the Great Sundering, there was one world. A world that knew naught but peace and prosperity. Until it was faced with a crisis. Unprecedented, terrifying. Civilization found itself perched upon a precipice, staring into oblivion. But through prayer and sacrifice, the will of the star was made manifest. Zodiac was his name, and by his grace was the calamity averted.
Zodiac.
A savior mighty and magnificent, deserving of reverence and gratitude. One would have thought, yet some thought otherwise. From the fears of these naysayers would rise Hydaelyn, she who was to serve as his shackles, to bind him and hold him in check. And so they fought, and they fought, and they fought, and in the end, Hydaelyn was victorious. With all her strength, she smote him, dealing a blow so devastating that it split the very fabric of reality. And thus was Zodiac banished and his being divided. That concludes today's lesson on long-forgotten history. Though I imagine your mother would offer a rather contradictory account, as is her wont.
I'm sorry, I can only assume I misheard. But it sounded an awful lot like you were implying both Zodiac and Hydaelyn are not gods. But...
What? Not gods of the first? Is that what you thought these paintings depicted? Or... Oh. They are gods after a fashion, yes. But no different from the kind with which you are so intimately acquainted. Formed of faith and prayer, of conviction and devotion. The eldest and most powerful of primals.
You have spun quite a tale. Yet you have not explained the role of the Ascians in all of this. How is it you are privy to ancient secrets lost to time?
Finally you ask the right question. And shrewd questions warrant honest answers. We Ascians know because it is our history, our story. It was we who summoned Zodiac, we natives of that sundered paradise. Now, do you see why we yearn for the great rejoining? For our world, for our people, for all creation to be made whole again. Wouldn't you wish for the same?
Like I said, pretty much really good plot twist. Moving right along. There is one cutscene I need to show that does not include Emet-Selch, just so it kind of points towards what will happen. Gotta find it. Could be that one. Okay, I think it's this one. Nope, wrong one. Sorry. Excuse me. My bad. Not that one. Is it? Wait. Wait. I don't know. It might be this one. Let me try that one again.
Don't get me wrong, I'm glad those travelers made it all the way to Nabartha Reng. But when Urianger told me the Talos was in pieces, and the trolley didn't look much better, I couldn't help wondering what in the hells had gone on.
What indeed? At least the heart is in one piece. The rest is replaceable. Looking at this mess, though, it's a miracle they survived.
You can say that again. What the? Are you seeing this?
The sky. It...
At last, night has returned to Amareng. We'll save this broken world yet, Tesleen. You see if we don't.
No doubt retreating in the wake of the Warden's demise.
Back to Calusia, the last refuge of light.
Home to our dear Lord Vorthry, who will no doubt do everything in his power to thwart us.
As well he should, for defeat there would spell the end for both him and his heavenly host. There the fate of this star shall be decided.
Okay, my bad. I was a little bit mistaken on that. I thought that was the right one, but I'm thinking it's actually a dungeon that I was looking for. Malik as well. Yeah. So I think it should be the last one of this that actually shows what happens. So let me play that real quick. Okay, yeah, I was right. So yeah, by that point, the power that the main character is absorbing is getting a little too much. So let's have to kind of find where I was again. So that'll take us right back into yeah, it'll probably be the last of this one. Or, oh, there's a lot here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to find the right one. Closed. So this is the final boss.
Are you so determined to die? One last chance, villains! Bow down and acknowledge your king! Your god!
Not a very pretty sight to be looking at, that's for sure. I think it's the next two.
But I am all powerful! Why am I cast down? But it is you who are the villains. Father told me that I am hope. I am righteousness. That I am a god. That is why I was born, as man and sin eater both. I kept the people safe. They respected me, worshipped me. How can this be? I should be the one looking down at you. Help me, damn you! I am your god!
Look! The sky!
Let's see, so immediately following that, it goes into a flashback. But we're actually going to go to cutscene number 7, I think? Yeah, that looks about right. So it shows a flashback of Vothri's, like how he was born. We can also skip that. We can guess. I think we can kind of guess who made Vothri. It's not too much of a stretch. So we'll skip straight to 7.
Are you all right? Say something!
"12 for Fend. He cannot contain the light. He's beginning to turn. Urianger, if you've aught up your sleeve, now is the time."
It's changing back.
The combined power of every Light Warden is too terrible a burden for any one soul to bear. And so I shall relieve you of it.
Exarch! What are you doing?
I will channel this profusion of power to the Crystal Tower and use it to travel to other worlds. As I have dreamed of doing ever since I first learned of their existence. Who would choose to remain here in this dying realm when they might go elsewhere and begin anew? Not I. And thus did I use you.
No, I don't believe you. It doesn't make sense.
Damn you! We won't let you do with him as you please.
Do not interfere! Please, I beseech you all, let him go!
You knew of this, Urianger. 'Tis all a fiction. Such vaguely defined acts of teleportation stand no chance of success. The Exarch will never live to see another world, as he knows only too well.
Then, what does he mean to do?
He means to take the light with him into the rift, where he will die. From the beginning, he intended to sacrifice himself to save our friend and Norvrend.
At journey's end, an opportunistic thief makes off with the hero's prize. A paltry way to end a chapter, I concede. Yet your tale will continue, and my role in it will scarcely be remembered. Worry not. Whatever should become of me, I will be happy and free, safe in the knowledge that I have played my part. Thank you for fighting for this world. For believing. Fare you well, my friend. My inspiration.
Only those who possess the royal eye of the Allagan Imperial line are capable of controlling the Crystal Tower. Such individuals do not exist in the First. Therefore, in all likelihood, the Exarch arrived here with the tower. This much I had surmised, yet I could not discern his grand scheme. To think that he went through all this trouble for the sake of a single hero. It's almost admirable in its absurdity. Alas, it is not your grand scheme that will succeed, but ours.
You bastard!
Stay put. Your friend is still alive, but whether he remains so depends on you. What a disappointment you turned out to be. I placed my faith in you, let myself believe that you could contain the light. But look at you now, halfway to becoming a monster. You are unworthy of my patronage. I am an Ascian. My heart's sole desire is to usher in the great rejoining. 100 years ago, I entrusted my comrade Logriff with the task of increasing light's sway over this world. This we sought to do by manipulating heroes. When that failed to achieve the desired result, I created Vorthri. But thanks to your meddling, that too has ended in failure.
What was your true purpose in approaching us?
By your 12, boy, have I not told you before that everything I said was the truth? You were specimens by which I might gauge man's potential as it stands. I genuinely had an interest in you, genuinely considered taking you on as allies. Provided he could contain and control the light. If not, then he, and by extension you, would be of no use to me. 'Twas as simple as that.
So, we've been found wanting. How disheartening. But even had we fulfilled your conditions, there was no guarantee that we would cooperate. What then?
Then I simply kill you all. At the very least, it would restore the world to the way it was before you went about trouncing Light Wardens willy-nilly. Suffice it to say, it would be most inconvenient to have all that light taken away, and I would be lying if I were to claim his actions didn't have me worried. You still retain your form and your senses, but you have all but become a Sin Eater. Whether you will it or no, your mere existence will serve to engulf the world in light. Those in your company will likewise turn into Sin Eaters, and in time you will succumb to your base instincts and hunt innocents to feast on their sweet, sweet ether.
Those few with the will left to fight may rise up against you. But before your absolute might, they will quickly know despair. There is no hope. We are finished. Mankind is finished. Ah, the irony. What Fourth Tree achieved through bliss, you achieved through despair. But I have overstayed my welcome. I shall look forward to seeing you bring the world to its knees, hero.
Exarch!
I have naught to show for all the time and effort I invested in you. He is a small token for my troubles. I did not expect that I could learn aught from man, but I may yet learn something from all the knowledge he had hoarded for his precious hero. I pity you, I do. Your friends are now your foes. If you do not kill them, they will kill you. When it all becomes too much to bear, seek me out at my abode in the dark depths of the Tempest. There, you may complete your descent into madness with some dignity, far from prying eyes. Till then, I bid you farewell, Eater.
Oh, looks like I got a message from Mr. Icy. We can respond. Okay. So we only have 2 more cutscenes, 3 more cutscenes, I think, left. I think we have enough time for all 3. I hope we do. I just have to hurry and move it. Isn't that one? There's a few here. Not that one. I think it's gotta be this one. I think it's number 1, and then it kind of goes through like 1 through 3 or 4. So let's see. Hopefully I have enough time to get through all of them. Yeah, this one.
This really is unacceptable. I gave you very specific instructions.
Emet-Selch.
My invitation was for an abomination, ripe with the power to bring about the world's annihilation. Not this half-broken thing. Whatever am I to do with you? And I see you insist on keeping the same familiar company. Are you so lost without them?
It is not he who is lost without the familiar. Not content with remaking an entire city, you aim to fill it with the reconstituted souls of the dead.
I may have gotten a little carried away in my attention to detail, added a few unnecessary flourishes. Well, there's no point trying to hide it. Yes. Once the rejoining of worlds is complete, Zodiac will regain his full strength and shatter his prison. Then we shall offer up the Source's remaining inhabitants in sacrifice, that we might resurrect our brethren who died to bring Zodiac into existence. But what was it that you, came here to do exactly. Well, you can't have him. The wisdom that man guards may open up new worlds of possibilities. He has unlocked the secrets of travel across the rift, and through time as well, it would seem. Quite an accomplishment for one of his incomplete nature. I must explore the limits of his capabilities, and harness that power for the Ardor. Even now, after everything, you refuse to see reason. You think it unfair that you are subject to suffering? That your lives will be sacrificed for the Ancients? Look at me! I have lived 1,000 of your lives. I have broken bread with you. Fought with you, grown ill, grown old, sired children, and yes, welcomed death's sweet embrace. For eons have I measured your worth and found you wanting. Too weak and feeble-minded to serve as stewards of any star. Have your recent spats with Vorthri and his Sin-Eaters taught you nothing? Have you not learned that your ignorance and frailty beget only endless misery? How long do you mean to perpetuate this farce? How much more must I endure your bumbling interference? Let us imagine that the laws of reality are again undone, and the world faces true annihilation. Do you honestly believe that half your number would sacrifice themselves to save the other? Of course they wouldn't! And if you had witnessed history unfold as I have, you would reach the same conclusion. You cannot be entrusted with our legacy. I will bring back our brethren, our friends, our loved ones. The world belongs to us, and us alone.
Emet-Selch! We understand, truly, but it makes no difference. The ones you love are in the past, while ours are here in the present. One day, we too will be ashes and dust, but not today. Our time is not yet finished. We share your conviction, and that is why we will not abandon our course.
You think us the same? You think your tattered soul of equal worth to those I lost? Then come. Earn your place. Prove yourselves worthy to inherit this star. Behold, the coming oblivion. 'Twas the end of our era and the beginning of our great work. A fitting backdrop for your final judgment. I shall wait within, but do not spend too much time on your preparations. There's no telling how much longer the guest of honor will last.
Okay, I had hoped to do all of my favorite cutscenes with him in under an hour, but unfortunately, looks like my time is starting to get close to it. So I'll send this one. I'll stick with this one video if he wants to see what happened. Mr. Ignerzol, if you would like to see Ignerzol. I may have pronounced your name wrong. I apologize. If you'd like to see the last two cutscenes, which is pretty much the climax, the ultimate, like, this is where all the paths lead. If you'd like to see that, let me know, either at work or in text. And yeah. So these have been a number of my favorite cutscenes from our favorite villain of Final Fantasy XIV, Emet-Selch, who is possibly, honestly, my favorite villain of all the Final Fantasies. Like, it's not even close. It's hands down. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. If you've watched up until this point, that is fantastic. And I will see you hopefully in the next video, which will be much shorter because there's only 2 cutscenes, maybe 3 left. Alright, thank you everyone, and good night.